So, you're thinking about writing your first ESG report. And maybe you're picturing this massive, expensive project, right? Like you have to hire a whole team of pricey consultants. But what if I told you that you can actually create a really credible, impactful report all by yourself for free? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through a super simple 4-step process to get it done.
And this is the big question, isn't it? It's what so many founders are asking. Is it even possible to create a report that your stakeholders, your investors, your customers, will actually take seriously without, breaking the bank?
Well, the answer is a huge resounding yes. And in this explainer, I'm going to give you a straightforward, step-by-step guide to do exactly that. We're talking about building your report from the ground up, using data you probably already have, and tools that are, get this, completely free.
Okay, first things first. Before you even think about writing a single word, we need to lay the foundation. This first phase is all about two things: figuring out your purpose and picking the right framework. Seriously, getting this part right is the secret sauce. It makes the entire process so much more manageable and honestly effective.
And this right here might be the single most important question in the whole process. Your answer is going to steer every single decision you make, from what data you bother to collect to the story you end up telling. It's basically your North Star for this whole project.
So, let's get real. What's your why? Are you doing this to keep your investors happy? Or is it about being transparent with your customers? Maybe you just want to get your own team aligned on your goals. See, knowing who you're talking to, your primary audience, is everything. It tells you exactly what to focus on, and maybe even more importantly, what you can safely ignore. Just making this one choice can literally save you months of work.
All right, so once you've got your why, you need a how. And that brings us to frameworks. Now, I know that word can sound kind of intimidating, but don't let it scare you. Just think of them as templates, okay? For instance, the Global Reporting Initiative, or GRI, is a fantastic, super flexible starting point for most startups. But hey, if you're backed by investors, you might want to look at SASB, because it focuses on the financial side of things. And if your organization is really all about climate, then TCFD is definitely the way to go.
But here's the absolute key. Don't try to do everything at once, please. Use these frameworks as a guide, not some strict rulebook you have to follow to the letter. For each pillar, environmental, social, and governance, just pick, say, 5 to 7 metrics that actually matter to your business. The goal here is to start small and stay focused. That's how you win.
Okay, our foundation is set. Now it's time for the fun part, the build. This is the creation phase, where we're going to grab our data and start weaving it all into a compelling story.
I absolutely love this quote. It just cuts right to the chase, Nobody, and I mean nobody, expects your very first report to be this perfect, all-encompassing masterpiece. It's just not realistic. What matters so much more is that you're honest, you're transparent, and you're credible. And building that credibility, it starts with using the data you can actually get your hands on. You do not need fancy, expensive systems for this. I'm serious. Your utility bills, that's your energy data. Your HR records, full of social metrics. And your governance policies, they're already written down somewhere. Just start right there. It's easier than you think.
Because, look, data by itself is, it's just a bunch of numbers on a page, right? The magic happens when you wrap it in a narrative. And you can use this super simple 3-part structure. It's incredibly powerful. First, start with your why. Then, detail the what. What are your impact areas? And finally, explain the how. How are you actually taking action? It's authentic, it's clear, and anyone can understand it.
And a personal plea from me to you. Please avoid corporate jargon. It's the worst. It just builds these invisible walls between you and your reader. So instead of saying something ridiculous like, you're leveraging synergies, just say what you did. We changed the light bulbs. See? It's simple, it's believable, and it's 100 times more impactful. And remember what I said at the beginning? You don't need a massive software budget for this. There are tons of free, really accessible tools out there. You can use them to estimate your carbon footprint, create awesome-looking charts to visualize your data, and even build simple dashboards to track how you're doing, all without spending a single dime.
All right, so you've got your data, you've got your story. Now for the big question, how do you make sure people actually trust it? Well, this next phase is all about building that credibility. And we're going to do it through a little something called radical honesty and, of course, some professional polish.
And yep, we're back to this theme again because it is that important. Think about it. A first-time report that has 0 gaps, no missing info, that can actually look a little suspicious, can it? Your stakeholders are smart. They know this is a journey, not a destination. Honesty is truly your greatest asset here. So how do you show that honesty? Lean right into it. Literally create a section in your report called What We're Working On. Acknowledge the data you haven't collected yet. Talk about the policies you're still developing. That kind of transparency, it signals a real, genuine commitment to getting better. And that, my friends, is what builds trust.
Want to add another layer of credibility? Easy. Connect what you're doing to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. It's a simple way to show that you're not just operating in a bubble, you're actually contributing to these big, globally recognized objectives. It adds a ton of context. Okay, let's talk page count. How long should this thing be? First off, forget those 80-page monsters you might have seen. No one has time for that. For your very first report, just aim for 15 to 20 pages, max. Keep it short, keep it focused, and respect your reader's time. And my advice is to think digital first from the get-go. You can use simple templates from places like Canva. And hey, consider publishing it as a web page or a little microsite instead of just a boring old PDF. Why? Because then you can embed hyperlinks directly to your policies and posts, which makes the whole thing way more interactive and user-friendly.
Okay, you've done all the hard work. The report is written, it's polished, it looks great, but wait, you're not quite done yet. The final phase is the launch. This is where we turn this document into a living, breathing, ongoing conversation.
You see, the very best reports don't just look in the rearview mirror, they look ahead. So you want to end with really clear, concrete, and measurable goals. This is what transforms your report from just a static snapshot of the past into a living roadmap for your future. And listen, don't just hit publish and hope for the best. You've got to share this thing. Plot the best stories and post them on LinkedIn. Create a dedicated sustainability page on your website where it can live forever. Weave your ESG message into your customer newsletters. Get it out there. And here is such a simple but incredibly powerful little trick. Just add one line at the end. We welcome feedback. By explicitly asking for it, you're sending a crystal clear signal that you're open, you're listening, and that you see this as a dialogue, not a monologue. It's a massive credibility builder.
And that's really the big mindset shift here. Your first ESG report, it's not the finish line, it's the starting gun. It's your way of signaling to your team, to your customers, to the whole world that sustainability is baked into your company's DNA. It's the beginning of a conversation. So, are you ready to start yours?